Navigate Wireshark's main menu. Many of the main menu items are pretty obvious as to what they're used for. In this section, I'll take you through the items that are not quite so obvious. Inside of Wireshark, I'm working with a trace file called tr-ftp fail. On the main menu, I'll select File, and Open should be obvious. Open Recent should be obvious, except at the bottom of the Open Recent list, you will see that you have the option to clear the recent files list. If you click on this, and then you close the trace file, you'll see this also clears the Open Recent list that you see on the Start page. I'm going to open up that trace file one more time. You also have the option in here of merging other trace files into this one. By default, trace files will be merged based on their timestamp information. If someone sends you a trace file in hex format, you can import that into Wireshark. This is how you can close the trace file. If the trace file has had any changes, such as annotation, or it's a new trace file that you captured, the Save button allows you to save the trace file. Use Save As when you want to save your trace file in a different format. So instead of saving it as a pcap-ng format, maybe I want to save it as a standard pcap file. Keep in mind that when you move from pcap-ng to pcap, you will lose all the metadata in the trace file. The next option under File is File Set. If I select List Files, I'll see that there's only one file in this file set. In Wireshark Core Training 3, Capture Traffic, we'll talk about how to capture traffic to file sets. At this time, I'll open up a file set. I'm going to select File Open, and then I'm going to navigate to the Wireshark Certified Network Analyst Study Guide book directory that I have on this system. And these are all files that are part of a file set. I'll select one of these files, and now I'll select File, File Set, and List Files. These files are all linked together as part of a set, so rather than capture one large trace file, I captured a number of smaller trace files. I can move quickly through the file sets using this feature. I'm going to go back and open up my tr-ftp fail trace file. Under File, we also have the option of exporting specified packets. If I select this option, down below, I have the ability to save specific packets, such as the selected packet, or maybe just the packets that matched a display filter, or a range of packets. So if I wanted to save packets 1 through 3, I'll enter that in the range area and provide the file a name. When I save that trace file and open it up again, it will have the packets 1 through 3 from this trace file. I will cancel this out because I don't want to save a subset. Under the File area, we also have Export Packet Dissections. The most common use for this is to export the information from the packet list pane into comma-separated value format for further analysis in another tool. If I select Export Packet Dissections as CSV, down below I'm given an option as to which packets I want to save and the packet format. To save just the packet list pane information, I'm going to uncheck Packet Details and only have packet summary lines selected. Now I would end up with a CSV file that contains each of the columns available in the packet list pane. The next option is not available to me at this time because I haven't selected any packet bytes. I've selected a packet in the background, but not packet bytes. Down in the Packet Details window, if I select a field such as Time to Live, now when I select File, I have the option of exporting selected packet bytes. We can also export SSL session keys. If there are no session keys anywhere in the trace file to export, you'll see this message appear. For more information on exporting SSL session keys and using them, visit the Wireshark wiki page for SSL. The URL is wiki.wireshark.org/SSL. We can also export objects, such as HTTP, DICOM, and SMB or SMB2 objects. This trace file has FTP communications in it, and I want to show you how to export HTTP traffic. So I'll open up the trace file called tr-ftp HTTP. Now I'll select File, Export Objects, and HTTP. This lists all of the HTTP objects that were seen in the trace file, and if I want to save one of those externally, I can select the item I want to save based on the file name and then choose Save As. The last options in the File menu area are Print and Quit. I can't imagine why you would want to print packets, but it is an option. Quit will close Wireshark. Under the Edit area, the majority of these items are available to you using the right mouse click method. These items deal with copying the contents of a field that you've selected, finding a specific packet, marking and unmarking packets, ignoring and unignoring packets, setting a time reference in the trace file so you can measure all time from a specific point, shifting the value of time, applying a packet comment or an annotation, looking at our configuration profiles, and editing the preferences area. All of these can be done by either using the right mouse click method. Here you can see I can go to the preferences area. If I select a packet on the packet list pane, I can right mouse click and I can mark a packet, ignore it, set time reference, time shift, and packet comment, etc. In the View area, this defines what you see in the background on the main view of Wireshark, whether you want the wireless toolbar visible, whether you want the packet bytes details list visible. You can also change the time format for the time column. Now this will only affect the time column that you see in the background. If you want to change it so that Wireshark shows you from the end of one packet to the end of the next in the time column, choose Second Since Previous Displayed Packet. You can also alter name resolution using View. You can tell Wireshark to enable for the network layer, and that will provide you with name resolution inside of the source and the destination IP address fields. Sometimes you need to wait for Wireshark to populate this list. If it seems like it's taking too long, it could be that Wireshark couldn't resolve the values, or you may need to reload the capture file. In the capture file that I'm working in right here, it looks like these IP addresses cannot be resolved. Here, a little further in the trace file, we've found some that can. So be patient and give it a few moments to do the resolution. When you want to turn off name resolution, select View, Name Resolution, and disable the network layer name resolution. Also in this area, you can turn on and off packet colorization and auto scrolling, zoom in, zoom out, and go to normal size, resize all columns, and find the displayed column values that you want to see. All of those functions are available using the main toolbar or the right mouse click function. You can expand all subtrees or expand all the items that you see in the packet details pane, but we can also do that using the right and the left arrow on the keyboard. You can colorize a specific conversation. You have 10 temporary coloring rules available to you. If you define a coloring rule for a conversation, as I just did, this will override any permanent coloring rules you've set in your profile. To remove the temporary coloring rules, Select one of the packets that you've colorized temporarily and go to View and Reset Coloring. You can also go into your list of permanent coloring rules. That's a function you can also do by clicking on this button on the main toolbar. If you want to show a packet in a new window, you can use this option, or simply double-click on a packet in the packet list pane. This is also where we have an option for reloading. As I mentioned before, a lot of these options are available on the main toolbar and through right mouse click functionality. The Go option will allow you to go backwards and forwards or go to specific packets in a trace file. This is also available on the main toolbar. We can go to the previous packet in the list, the next packet in the list, and we can jump between packets within a conversation. In the capture area, you'll notice that you have the icon that matches the icons on the main toolbar to open up the interfaces window, the options window, start capturing, stop capturing, restart. We also have capture filters available to us here, and this matches the icon on the main toolbar over here, and refresh interfaces. All of these items are available on the main toolbar. Under Analyze, we can view the display filters and we can set display filter macros. We'll work with display filters a lot more in Wireshark Core Training 9, Create and Apply Display Filters. These options to apply something as a column and apply a filter and prepare a filter, these are all available through the right mouse click capability. We also can enable specific protocols or disable the protocols using Analyze and Enabled Protocols. To force a dissector, you can use Decode As, and then define which dissector should be applied based on the link, network, or transport layer. If you have forced a dissector on specific traffic, you will see it listed in the user-specified decodes. At the bottom, you'll see we have follow TCP stream, UDP stream, and SSL stream. And these are things that we typically do with the right mouse click functionality on a packet in the packet list pane. Expert info will provide you with the basic information of problems Wireshark has seen in the trace file, and we can see the expert button in the bottom left-hand corner, which also provides that information. We can apply a basic conversation filter, but only for two types of conversations. So most likely you won't be using this option on the menu. One of the times you will find yourself going to the menu is for statistics. These statistics are typically not available with right mouse click functionality or the main toolbar. We can look at a summary of all of the traffic in the trace file. This provides us with information such as when the trace file was captured, the length of the trace file and format. Any trace file comments will show up here, the interface used, whether any packets were dropped or a capture filter was applied during the capture process. And then down below, we can see the time from the first and the last packet, average packets per second, bytes per second, megabits per second, etc. Under statistics, this is also where we can look at the comment summary. This will provide not only the trace file comments, but also individual packet comments. The comment summary area begins with some of the basic summary information, and down here is where we would see any customized comments that have been added to the trace file. In statistics, we can also show the address resolution. Now we're looking at a PCAP-NG file, so this will show us the PCAP-NG name resolution block. Notice that we don't have any names resolved and showing in this address resolution window. If we go back to View, Name Resolution, and we enable it for the network layer, now let's go back to Statistics and Show Address Resolution. Notice we still don't have anything in here. Let's simply reload the trace file and now go back to Statistics and Show Address Resolution. Now we can see the address information that's in the trace file. So keep in mind, if you've turned on name resolution and you still don't see anything, just simply reload the trace file and then open up the address resolution window. If we go back to View, Name Resolution, and we disable it, then go back to Statistics, Show Address Resolution, it will not be visible to us anymore. Also under Statistics, we can see the protocol hierarchy. This indicates all the different protocols and applications seen in the entire trace file. In the protocol hierarchy window, we can right mouse click on one of the items and apply a filter based on the value. Also in this area, we can see the list of conversations, hosts that are talking to each other. We can also see a master list of the endpoints, the individual hosts that are communicating. We can also find information about the packet lengths seen in the trace file, and we can create a basic I/O graph showing the traffic based on packets per tick, each tick being 1 second in this scenario, bytes per tick, or bits per tick. You can learn more about I/O graphing in Wireshark Core Training 21, Graph I/O Rates and TCP Trends. Under the statistics area, we have some spots where it's a bit of a duplication. Conversation list and endpoint list, for example. This information is available to us up at the Conversations and Endpoints options above. Service response time measures the amount of time for each of these protocols and apps, the amount of time between a request going out and the response coming back. Several of these options are specific to a protocol or an application, such as ANCP and BACnet for automating systems for buildings. BootP and DHCP are pretty basic. CollectD for the CollectD communications. Compare doesn't work at this time. Hopefully we will see that working in the future. The flow graph allows us to look at the flow of traffic in the trace file, defining each target in a column here, and basic information in the comment area. If you select one of these lines, Wireshark jumps to that point in the trace file in the background. Also in here, we have the ability of looking up basic HTTP statistics and opening up some very special graphs relating to TCP communications. For more information on analyzing TCP communications and trending with these graphs, take a look at Wireshark Core Training 21, Graph I/O Rates and TCP Trends. We can obtain UDP multicast stream information, and we can even set parameters for alerts for specific thresholds being reached. If you're looking at wireless LAN traffic, then the wireless LAN traffic section will define each of the wireless devices communicating and the SSID that's available and within range inside the capture. IP destinations and addresses and protocol types are pretty self-explanatory, and that information is available through the protocol hierarchy and the conversations information as well. Telephony is the ideal place to go when you're looking at VoIP communications. RTP, show all streams, SIP, VoIP calls, etc. We will look at VoIP communications in Wireshark Core Training 27, VoIP Analysis Fundamentals. In the Tools area, Wireshark makes a weak attempt at creating firewall access control list rules, but this is where we can go into Lua. Each year at the SharkFest conference, there are sessions dealing with creating scripts in Lua for Wireshark. The internals area provides us with information about the dissector tables and supported protocols. And in the help area, it's pretty self-explanatory here. These are all links to different website locations. This is also where you can immediately check for updates to your version of Wireshark. The most important part of the help area is about Wireshark, because if you'd like to know where Wireshark is storing any of its program files or supplemental files, there's a Folders tab that will define all the locations for Wireshark's files. As I mentioned before, many of the items that are available on the main menu are also available on the main toolbar or through right mouse click functions. In the next section, we will focus specifically on the functions of the main toolbar.